There is a famous story of a wise man who was called to see Alexander the Great. And Alexander asked him, "I have heard that you have come to know what God is, so please tell me. I have been in search, and people say you have attained. So enlighten me about God, what God is." It is said, the wise man said, "You give me at least 24 hours to think it over." 24 hours passed, and Alexander was waiting very eagerly. The wise man came and he said, 7 days will be needed. And then 7 days passed, and Alexander was very impatient. The wise man came and he said, 1 year will be needed. Alexander said, "What do you mean, 1 year will be needed? You know, or you don't. If you know, tell me. Why waste time?" The wise man laughed and he said, "The more I ponder, the more it becomes unknowable. The more I know, the more difficult it becomes to say that I know. 24 hours I tried, and it started slipping from my hands. It is very elusive, it is like mercury. Then I asked for 7 days, that didn't help. Now, at least 1 year end. I am not certain that I will be able to bring a definition." The wise man did well. He must have been really wise, because there is no way to define the real self. But man cannot live without a self, then one feels so empty. Then one feels like a wheel without a hub. Then one feels like a circumference without a center. No, it is hard to live without a self. To know the real self is arduous. One has to travel long to arrive home. One has to knock on many doors before one comes to the right door. The easy trick is, you can create a false self. To grow real roses is difficult. You can purchase plastic roses. They will not deceive you, but they will deceive the neighbors. That is the point of the self, the ego. It cannot deceive you. You know well that you yourself don't know who you are. But at least it can deceive the neighbors. In the outside world, at least you have a certain label, who you are. Have you ever thought about it? If somebody asks, "Who are you?" What do you answer? You say your name. The name is not yours, because you came into the world without a name. You came nameless, it is not your property, it has been given to you. And any name, A, B, C, D, would have been useful. It is arbitrary. It is not essential in any way. If you are called Susan Good, if you are called Harry Good, it makes no difference. Any name would have been as applicable to you as any other. It is just a label. A name is needed to call you by, but it has nothing to do with your being. Or you say, "I am a doctor." Or you say, "I am an engineer, or a businessman, or a painter, or this." But nothing says anything about you. When you say, "I am a doctor," you say something about your profession, not about you. You say how you earn your living. You don't say anything about life, you say something about your living. You may be earning your living as an engineer, or as a doctor, or as a businessman. It is irrelevant. It does not say anything about you. Or you say your father's name, your mother's name, you give your family tree, that too is irrelevant. Because that doesn't define you. Your being born in a particular family is accidental. You could as well have been born in another family, and you would not even have noticed the difference. These are just utilitarian tricks, and man becomes a self. This self is a pseudo-self, a created, manufactured self, homemade. And your own real self remains deep down hidden in mist and mystery. I was reading, a Frenchman was crossing the desert with an Arab guide. Day after day, the Arab never failed to kneel on the burning sand and call upon his God. At last, one evening, the unbeliever said to the Arab, "How do you know there is a God?" The guide fixed his eye upon the scoffer for a moment and then replied, "How do I know there is a God? How did I know that a camel and not a man passed last night? Was it not by the print of his hoof in the sand?" And pointing to the sun, whose last rays were fading over the horizon, he added, "That footprint is not of man. Yourself cannot be created by you. It cannot be man-made. Yourself you have brought with you. It is you. How can you create it to create it? You will have to be there in the first place." That is the meaning when Christians, Mohammedans, Hindus say that man is a creature. That means that man has not created himself, that's all. The Creator is somewhere hidden in the unknown. We have come out of some mysterious life source. Yourself is not yours. This false self is not yours because you have created it. And your real self is not yours, because it is still in God. You are still rooted in God. This false self that we go on carrying in our lives, like a flag, is always in danger of being damaged. It is very fragile, it is very weak, it has to be, it is man-made. How can man make something deathless? He himself has to pass through many deaths, so whatsoever he produces is always mortal. Hence the fear, continuous fear that I may be lost. Myself may be destroyed. A continuous fear goes on trembling in your being. You can never be certain about this false self of yours. You know it is false. You may avoid the fact, but you know it is false. It is gathered together, manufactured, it is mechanical, it is not organic. Have you observed the difference between an organic unity and a mechanical unity? You make a car engine, you can purchase parts from the market, and you can assemble those parts, and the engine starts functioning like a unity. Or you can purchase parts of a radio from the market, and you can assemble them, and the radio starts functioning like a unity. Somehow it comes to have a self. No part can function as a radio by itself. All parts together start functioning like a radio. But still the unity is mechanical, forced from the outside. But when you throw seeds into the ground, those seeds die into the soil and a plant arises. This unity is organic. It is not forced from outside. The unity was within the seed itself. The seed goes on spouting, goes on gathering 1,001 things from the earth, from the air, from the sun, from the sky. But the unity is coming from within. The center comes first and then the circumference. In a mechanical unity, the circumference comes first and then the center. Man is an organic unity. You were a seed one day, like any tree in the soil of your mother's womb, you started gathering your circumference. The center came first, the center preceded the circumference. And now you have forgotten the center completely. You live on a circumference and you think this is your whole life. This circumference, and continuously living on, it creates a sort of self, a pseudo-self, which gives you a feeling that yes, you are somebody. But it is always trembling because it has no organic unity in it. Hence the fear of death. If you know your real life, you will never be afraid of death. There is no question, because organic unity never dies. Organic unity is immortal. Only mechanical unities are put together and die. That which is put together one day will fall apart. Mechanical unity has a beginning and an end. Organic unity has no beginning and no end. It is an eternal process. Do you know your center? If you don't know it, then you will be continuously afraid. Hence, self-consciousness is always afraid, always trembling. And you always need support from others. Somebody to appreciate you, somebody to clap, somebody to say how beautiful you are or how intelligent. You need somebody to say these things to you, like hypnotic suggestions, so that you can believe that yes, you are intelligent, you are beautiful, you are strong. But see the point, you depend on others. A foolish man comes to you and says you are very intelligent, and in fact, you can look intelligent only to a foolish man. If he is more intelligent than you, of course. You will not look intelligent to him. So a foolish man comes and certifies your intelligence, and you are very happy. You can look beautiful only to an ugly man. If he is more beautiful than you will look ugly, because it is all relative. And you are certified by ugly people that you are beautiful. And you are tremendously happy. What type of intelligence is this? Which has to be certified by foolish people. What type of beauty is this? Which has to be certified by ugly people? It is completely false. It is idiotic, but we go on searching. We go on searching in the outside world to find some support for our ego. Somebody to give a little support, to become a prop. Otherwise, there is always the danger that our ego will collapse. So we have to support it from this side. And from that, and continuous worry arises. That's why you are more graceful when you are alone. Because you are not worried. Nobody is there to see you. You are more innocent when you are alone in your bathroom. You are more innocent, you are more like a child. Again, you stand before the mirror and make faces, and you enjoy it. But if you become aware that your small child is looking through the keyhole, immediately you are totally different. Now the ego is at stake. That's why people are so afraid of others. Alone, there is no anxiety.